events that we witnessed in the Eastern Cape are suggestive of how serious elements of global warming are. But also, I suppose, in a country where GBV and so many other challenges really seem to haunt us. And of course, one that is spoken about a lot is the rate and level of unemployment, particularly amongst our youth. So I want to salute you that in the face of all these difficulties, in the face of all these challenges, there's a sense of belief that there are many other players who can participate in helping us address the many challenges that beset our country. And entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship seems to be a major part of the solution. But of course, preaching entrepreneurship and having no takers is not going to take us anywhere. And it is important that we salute those who take, who bite, who respond to the call, whichever way it was made, of entrepreneurship. And you are amongst them. And I really want to commend you and say, we know how lonely and how difficult, to Stuart's point, in the beginning, entrepreneurship can be. And that's why Investec has opted to participate in the way that we do in support of early entrepreneurship journeys. But I guess I painted this picture of all doom and gloom deliberately, because the essence of my message this afternoon revolves around hope, and I chose this key theme of hope deliberately because you and what we've been exposed to as the adjudication panel, in the caliber, in the quality, in the businesses, in the issues you're seeking to address, in the value you're seeking to add, you gave us all but just so much hope. And I couldn't help but want to really revolve today around this word, around the sense and belief of hope. And I want to say to you, hope for me is a number of things. One, it is the belief that no situation is ever permanent. Hope is the belief that no situation is ever permanent. And it doesn't matter whether you look at it from a world state, or you look at it from a country state where political parties are having all-in fights around themselves and all the other issues. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the sense and the level of despair. It is the sense that says, when you have people such as yourselves around you, you assure me that this country's challenges and the state that it's currently in cannot be permanent. And that's why hope was an important word for me, was an important theme for me, that whatever the doom and gloom, whatever sense of despair, whatever frustration we may be experiencing at the moment, there definitely will be light at the end of the tunnel, even when Eskom fails to provide us with light. But the most important thing is the people that give us the glimmer of that light is people like yourself, the glimmer of that hope, the sense that tomorrow is likely to be better than today is people such as yourselves. And I choose hope, understanding that even in our own entrepreneurship journeys, there are moments when we think everything is falling apart. There are moments when things are not particularly making sense. There are moments where we feel very challenged. There are moments where we worry about where is the next team's paycheck going to come from? There are moments when we worry about, is this idea of mine ever going to see light of day? And all I'm trying to say to you, it doesn't matter where you are. We've got to hang on to the level of hope, the sense of optimism, the sense that the glass is not half empty, but rather half full. It is a sense that keeps us going. It is a sense that gives us the fighting spirit that we so need, not only just as entrepreneurs, but we so need as human beings, but we so need as patriotic South Africans who have a sense of belief that this too, whatever it is, shall pass. It is a promise that whatever difficult phase we may be going through, um, we may not be seeing the success that we want to see. It'll pass. You know, and hope is such a huge incentive. It is a huge incentive. And I'm trying to say to this to you as entrepreneurs, even in your businesses, you've got to hang on to hope, because it is that incentive that gives you the sense that tomorrow looks better. It gives you the sense that I must keep betting. You know, Stephen Kosser used to see me all the time running up and down, and all he'll say to me, he says, keep betting, but keep betting, but keep. As long as you stay at the crease, as long as you stay at the crease, as long as you keep your eye on the ball and you keep betting them away, keep betting them away, keep betting them away. At some point, we will have so many scores or points on the scoreboard. And that's what this is about. It is a sense that says, as difficult, as lonely a journey, a path entrepreneurship is, tomorrow shall deliver the fruits of your labor. You see, to have hope is to want an outcome, is to want a result, is to want a particular ending, is to have hope. You can visualize, possibly where you are going. You can visualize the kind of value you're going to add. You can perhaps even visualize the kind of value that you are likely to derive, provided that this business of yours is packaged well and you are supported and you are surrounded by the right people, and you keep betting, irrespective of how many times you fall. You get up, you get up, you get up, and you have a sense that tomorrow holds much better returns and results for those who choose to invest in tomorrow. The future belongs to those who choose to invest in tomorrow, and they do so with a huge degree and a huge level of hope. And hope is not just about falsely believing that your chosen path is going to be easy. Hope, I'm not suggesting that at all. I am not suggesting that at all. Falsely believing that your chosen path is going to be easy would be a lie, because life will give you a clap or two or three or four along the way. But what matters is not so much how many claps it gives you, because from those claps, my hope is that you learn. And from those claps, you build, you grow in confidence. From those claps, you learn to navigate. Hope is good. Hope is good because it's a voice of reason. It is a voice of reason. You know, as many people may complain, whine and whinge about current realities, hope gives us the reason to believe in what is possible. It is to believe in possibility, the possibility of a better, brighter tomorrow. And entrepreneurs such as yourselves really represent, in many ways than one, this level of hope, this sense of hope. The understanding that the past cannot be changed, but hope teaches us that we can design and hustle and hustle and hustle towards a brighter tomorrow. Keywords being designed and hustle and hustle and hustle towards a brighter tomorrow. And you as entrepreneurs are fully engaged in the designing of your own destiny, in your hustling towards your own destiny, in hustling towards the aspirations that perhaps might be aspirations you carry on behalf of generations, aspirations you carry on behalf of families, aspirations you carry on behalf of communities, aspirations that you carry on behalf of townships and villages, aspirations that you carry on behalf of us as a nation. But you see, hope is not a strategy. So hope alone is not going to help us achieve that we ought to achieve. Hope is an important part. Optimism is an important part. But you've got to accompany hope and optimism with a level of action. You've got to deliberately choose to do something. You know, I often say those who believe in whatever context of a religion, they will pray. But I often, when I go to church, I'm very quick to remind all of us who are in church, and I say, yes, pray we must and we should, because of course there's a supernatural being that's higher than us. But prayer alone will not do it, because even God helps those who help themselves. Even God helps those who help themselves. And I'm venturing down this path just to deliver a message that says hope is great, hope is awesome, and all of you represent all aspects of hope. But hope is not a strategy. Hope alone will not achieve that which we need to achieve. And hope, when I look at all of you, has an expectation, a level of expectation. And I have it. I have it. I have every reason to have that expectation, because you've given me the reason to have that expectation. In fact, I won't just say expect only. I will go as far as expect with a degree of confidence. I expect with a degree of confidence. If the adjudication process was anything to go by, I expect with a degree of confidence, almost with a degree of certainty, as unpredictable as entrepreneurship can be, that we have the right jockeys. Sometimes they might be on the wrong horse, but really, quite frankly, having the right jockeys is what matters, because the jockeys can always change horses when they realize and they learn from the process itself. So I guess in life, there'll be many disappointments, but we must accept those disappointments. And we must never, ever lose infinite hope to overcome these disappointments. And the spirit of entrepreneurship, the zeal with which many of you came across the other day, just says we're in for an interesting ride. We're in for an interesting time. But the world surely will be a better place because you lived, because you chose to pursue your passion. And on that note, I want to once again congratulate all of you. Well done. Well done. And wish you everything of the best. But of course, I know, having delivered this many a times, this is not it. All of you are waiting on the edges of your seats, and you're waiting to hear as to who the winners are. And I do, in fact, Stuart alluded to it. I do want to remark on winners and winners and winners. I'm deliberate at my choice of, I want to remark on winners and winners and winners, because in this process of ours, while there will emerge somebody who walks away with a prize of 100,000 Rand, we are all winners. We are all winners because there is so much more that we took away from the process itself. Very often in any kind of competition, the eye is but only on the prize, and we forget that the richness is in the journey. Entrepreneurship is not an event. Entrepreneurship is a journey. And part of the journey is in you taking the kind of courses that you're taking. Part of the journey is you being exposed to what you've been exposed to. Part of the journey is the comments I heard you reflect when Tanya asked about what it meant for you. Part of the journey, the richness is in that. And the prize funding, if you are lucky enough to get it to deserve it, is but only the cherry on top. But for all of us, I want us to know, for having chosen entrepreneurship, having made the choice with the greatest sense of conviction, and having chosen to do something about it, having chosen to equip yourself through courses such as this, just in that alone, you have won. You have won. Half the battlefield is making those early important choices of not just convincing yourself, but actually taking the initial steps towards it. You have won, not only once, not only twice, you have won many times over. So I clap having laid that context because I thought, Tanya, it was very important not for people to be fixated in the prize money, but to know that for us, as much as the prize money matters to them, what matters is that they were part of the process and the process itself. So let me acknowledge the shortlisted businesses. And in no particular order, by the way. Blueprint 76, Malin Mostert. Technological Plumbing Solutions, Tulani Kumar. Skills-Based Sphere, Mali Fulukopa. Sosi Woods, Galen McGee. Bijo Stitchery, Busang Senne. Madabat, Kidele Murifi, Winslow. Well done for having been shortlisted. My goodness, and you showed us flames. Show up, you did. Show up, you did. Show up, you did. And all was left for us to think about a number of factors. Where there were runs on the boards, there were runs on the boards, where it was practical, where the jockey was, and in many instances, all jockeys were great. But of course, there was those who just had that edge, the passion for the business, the understanding of the business, the understanding of the business levers, and whether the prize money would make a significant impact, not only in the business itself, but possibly would it enable and facilitate the inclusion of many other people. Because actually, in the end, that's what why entrepreneurship is attractive. It's an attractive vehicle to facilitate the active economic inclusion of many other people. You have chosen a path that when all goes well, when all goes well, will end up like a Mr. Price, will end up like many other establishments in South Africa, that the Brian Joffeys, Investec, that Stephen Kossevs and crew, and many other entities have ended up like. So, without much further ado, understanding that you're all again, the more and the longer I speak, you're moving more closer and closer and closer to the edge of your seats. I better make this announcement, Tanya. And Tanya laughs because she thinks, yes, you love this, don't you? The suspense. Well, without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce that out of the adjudication, yes, there is one prize winner of the 100,000, which is the first prize. But we felt it as we normally do. and then, of course, 1 being the prize winner. So, in that order, ladies and gentlemen, position 3.
Unfortunately, it looks like we've lost Seth just at the right moment. So hang tight, everyone. I just want to check if it's just myself.
Did you lose me?
That's true. Seth, we lost you just at that point where you were announcing our runner-up and our winners. Everyone's sitting in suspense
just
here.
at the beginning.
Just at when you were announcing our third runner-up. Went through all of that. And everyone is sitting on the edge of their seat.
Okay. That's fine. Let's go back and announce the third place. Ladies and gentlemen, third place, technological plumbing solution. Second place, Motherbat Kineda Murifi Winslow. And then, of course, 100,000 rands prize winner in their first place, Swazi Woods, Grand McGee. Well done to all of you. Well done. Congratulations. We're all winners. We are all winners. Never forget that. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, Seth, and thank you for doing that again. Everyone's super happy that we got to finally hear the results. And thank you for all the energy. Wow, I could see it in the chat. Everyone's super excited. What an exciting moment. So congratulations, Galen. Congratulations to the shortlist and to our incredible alumni here today. Sure, with that energy, I think I'm going to officially close today's session and mark the completion of your Startup School program. So I have a recording of the session. I'll send it to you next week with your completion certificate. And as we mentioned before, remember to share your story and spread the word about your Startup School journey. Your experience could also inspire and empower fellow entrepreneurs just like you. It's been an absolute pleasure, everyone. It's been a pleasure working with you all. And until next time, have a great weekend and all the best for your entrepreneurial adventures ahead. Bye for now. I'll leave the chat open so you guys can continue celebrating for a bit.